So I just saw Black Panther, and it was fine. This movie has quite a lot of flaws, but it makes up for those in some departments. And one of those was Andy Serkis. Andy Serkis was a lot of fun to watch on screen, and every scene that he inhabited was instantly entertaining. But this isn't a thing that could be said for most of the other characters. And this is where our first major flaw in this movie pops up. T'Challa, aka the Black Panther, is actually the most boring character in this entire movie. It doesn't actually feel like he has a struggle in this movie. And even when he does have some sort of a struggle, there is no tension. And that's another problem in this movie. It has no tension. There's a car chase like in the middle of this movie. Granted, this chase is kind of fun, even though it is shot kind of boring. But about 2 minutes into the chase, it loses all forms of tension when you notice that no one is actually in danger. Even the people who aren't wearing any form of protection. Yeah, there wasn't a lot of humor in this movie. But when there was humor, it wasn't good. It wasn't good. The most prominent joke that stuck with me was made about 30 minutes into the movie. Maybe this joke would have been funny 3 years ago, but holy shit, I felt something inside of me die when I heard it. But it apparently worked for some people, because the people that were in the theater with us were laughing out loud. I won't spoil the joke even though it's fucking awful. If you've seen this movie, you'll know what I mean. So let's talk about the villain. Killmonger was a good villain for most part of the movie, and Michael B. Jordan was fine as Killmonger. This character was really interesting in the first 30 minutes of this movie. This is also when the movie was at its best. And his character is also at its best when we don't actually know what his motivations are. His motivations are that he wants to arm all the black people in the world so they can kill all the white people. That's about it. That's all I really have to say about Killmonger. He's better than the elf from the second Thor and Ultron, but worse than Loki. So even though this movie has pretty weak characters for the most part, it makes up for this with its fantastic world building. Wakanda is actually really interesting. It's some sort of a mix between an old African tribe and a large metropolis, with shopping centers and everything. And again, a large part of this world building happens in the first 30 minutes. It achieves this amazing world building with the using of amazing sets and some great visual effects. For the most part. This movie has some really noticeably bad CG work, and most of it happens in the final 5 to 10 minutes. The action in this movie was kind of boring for the most part. Even the large battle at the end of the movie wasn't that interesting. This is largely because most fight scenes don't have any style or flair to them. I think this is because the director of this movie isn't an action director. The movies he did before Black Panther were Creed and Fruitvale Station. Granted, I haven't seen either of them, so I can't comment on them. But according to IMDb, these movies are categorized as dramas. And yes, the drama in this movie was fine, even though some scenes went on too long while others felt a little bit short. Largely regarding the backstory of Killmonger. That's all I really have to say about this movie. So in the end, if you're a Marvel fan, you probably already have seen this movie. And if you're not a fan, I don't recommend this movie as your introduction to these movies. In my opinion, you're better off watching The Winter Soldier of Spider-Man Homecoming. Bye.